4 weeks pregnant. Congratulations. I went to the hospital for a checkup because my period was a week late, only to be told I was already 1 month pregnant. This baby came out of nowhere. I walked out of the doctor's office, stood in the hallway, touched my lower abdomen, and stared blankly, hesitating whether to keep it. My health isn't good. If I terminate the pregnancy, I might never be able to get pregnant again. Suddenly, there was a stir among the people nearby. Wasn't that Ethan Liu and his girlfriend? They look so perfect together. He's always by her side at every prenatal checkup. Such a loving couple. With such good-looking parents, their baby will probably be beautiful. I instinctively looked toward the crowd and immediately saw Ethan holding hands with Lily Mann. He's been publicly linked with her as a fake couple for nearly 7 years, and everyone believes they're actually together. On Valentine's Day, the three of us went out for dinner and got caught by paparazzi. A bunch of netizens called me a scheming homewrecker with no shame, not knowing I was actually the wife in this marriage. I didn't want to stay there and risk embarrassment, so I turned to leave. But Lily called out to me, "Emily, what are you doing here? Don't tell me you were following me and Ethan." Poor him, despite how tightly I'd wrapped myself up to avoid paparazzi, I still couldn't escape his notice. I hadn't answered yet, but Ethan was already frowning, as if I had been convicted. "Just this once. Don't let it happen again." The word following caught everyone's attention, and they all turned to look at me like I was some shameless mistress trying to break up a couple. This wasn't the first time I had faced a scene like this, but every time felt like a knife to the throat. Ethan, of course, didn't even try to speak up for me. He just took Lily and walked away, explaining things only to her. Figures, how could he bear to reveal that I was actually his wife and let his beloved goddess be blamed? How ridiculous. Just a moment ago, I was seriously considering whether I should keep the baby. What good genes could possibly come from someone so cold and heartless? What if the child ended up just like his father, constantly making me miserable? Right then and there, I registered for an abortion. On the way home, I called my lawyer. "Send the divorce agreement over as soon as possible." "But Miss Emily," the lawyer said, "we still don't have strong enough evidence of Mr. Liu's affair. If we can obtain Lily Mann's amniocentesis results and confirm the child is his, you'll be entitled to a greater share of the assets." I sighed. Forget it, half is enough. This marriage, which I've endured like a silent ninja, has become torture. Every additional day is unbearable. I'd rather take less money and get out. I wasn't feeling well and just wanted to get home and rest. But not long after I got back, Ethan returned. He's always calm and detached, as if nothing could ever shake him. But this time, he came running. His eyes were bloodshot, and he grabbed my hand tightly. I saw the trending topic. His grip hurt. I pulled my hand away. "So what if you saw it?" I didn't even look. Probably just Lily's team again, buying more exposure, hyping how much you adore her, and bashing me for shamelessly throwing myself at you. It's not like this is the first time. Her fans never miss a chance to call me a homewrecker. Ethan was visibly shaken. His voice came out strained, like every word was being forced from his throat. "The trending topic says you went to the hospital for an abortion today." So that's what he was upset about. I didn't see what the big deal was. Yeah. He looked like he wanted to lose his temper, but held it in. "The awards thing? Yeah, it wasn't fair to you. But you shouldn't use the baby to vent your anger." That made me furious. I've been in this industry for 8 years. Lily's been nominated 5 times. This was finally supposed to be mine. But you helped her steal it from me. And because of that, her fans mocked me as a clown. Netizens joked that I was just a professional runner-up. I wasn't acting out of spite. We're getting divorced anyway. There's no reason to keep the baby. The divorce agreement, I've already had it prepared for you. When the lawyer brings it tomorrow, do me a favor and sign it. Ethan Liu had never been particularly patient with me, and now his patience had completely worn thin. "It's just a Best Actress award," he snapped. "Does it really need to get to this point? If you really want one, I'll get it for you next year. We'll talk about the rest once you've cooled down." Even when I flat out told him I wanted a divorce, he never once considered apologizing or admitting fault. He just grabbed his car keys and walked out, like always. No matter how wronged I felt, he would just leave me there, expecting me to swallow the pain on my own. He assumed that, like every other time, it wouldn't be long before I came crawling back to him, begging for reconciliation. But this time, he was wrong. I lost my parents when I was young and grew up relying on my sister. Later, my sister developed kidney disease. Ethan's mother paid for her surgery and even supported me through school. Out of gratitude, I agreed to help keep Ethan focused on his studies in college. I stayed by his side through heartbreak and even married him. Ethan's mom once told me, if 10 years pass and you still don't have feelings for him, she won't force it anymore. Well, the 10 years are up. The next morning, the lawyer arrived with the divorce papers. I called Ethan, but he didn't pick up, so I sent him a digital copy of the agreement. Look it over. If everything's fine, come back and sign it. The message came back with a red exclamation mark. He had deleted me. Anytime he got upset, even if it was clearly his fault, I was always the one expected to patch things up. He was used to being the center of my world. How exhausting. Good thing I was finally getting a divorce. I wouldn't have to put up with this anymore. I felt relieved. But for 3 days in a row, Ethan didn't come home. Instead, he was seen out in public, parading around with Lily Man, shopping, walking red carpets, topping search trends. The internet was buzzing with speculation that they were about to make things official. By the 4th day, I ran out of patience. I decided to confront him at his birthday party. The party was held at one of his villas, and only friends of his and Lily's were invited. I pushed the door open, and suddenly, all eyes were on me. Lily was the first to react, letting out a laugh. "Couldn't stay away, huh?" she said mockingly. The others quickly joined in with sneers and ridicule. I heard from Lily that Emily tried to force Mr. Liu into giving her better resources by threatening him with a divorce, one of them said. But he didn't even bother with her. "Looks like she got scared when he didn't budge and rushed over here to beg for forgiveness," another chimed in. "Mr. Liu only has eyes for Lily. Emily's just clinging to him. She only got into the family thanks to pressure from the older generation." "If I were her," someone else added, "I'd keep my head down and stay out of sight instead of causing drama every day." Lily's friends were obviously taking her side, and Ethan's friends, given how he treated me, also saw me as a joke. I didn't waste my breath arguing. I just asked, "Where's Ethan?" A cold, hard voice came from behind me. "Who gave you permission to be here?" Ethan walked up and stood beside Lily. Someone let out a mocking whistle. Everyone there was waiting to watch me make a fool of myself. I ignored them and looked straight at Ethan. "I have something to say to you. You're the CEO of Starcrest Entertainment. If this scandal blows up, it could affect the company's value. I'm also a major shareholder. I don't want this to get ugly. I just want to talk in private." But Ethan had no intention of showing me any respect. "If you have something to say it here. And if you're here to regret the divorce and beg me to take you back, don't bother. I can agree not to divorce you, but this is the last time I'll tolerate your tantrums. Don't test me again." Tantrums? Give him face? What face was I even supposed to give? "I don't even know the meaning of the word regret," I said coldly. I took the divorce papers out of my bag and held them in front of him. "Sign it." Ethan didn't take the documents. He just stared at me with that same blank expression. "You sign it first, then I'll consider signing. But if you act out again during the cooling-off period, I'm done playing these games, Emily." I was honestly fed up with Ethan and his self-righteous attitude. He could rest assured. Every assumption he made was based on the false belief that I loved him. But the truth is, from high school until now, the only reason I stayed by his side was to repay his mother's kindness. Now that the 10-year promise I made to her is up, I won't have anything more to do with him. He's sick of me? Well, I'm just as sick of watching him and Lily Man play house. Seriously, he cheats on me while we're still married and emotionally abuses his wife, and I'm supposed to like him? Not a chance. I thought if I told him the truth, he'd sign the divorce papers on the spot. After all, he's always said he's in love with Lily, and has made it clear more than once how tired he is of having me as his wife. But with every word I spoke, his expression darkened a little more, like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. His face a mix of panic and frustration. By the end, he was staring at me like he wanted to devour me. Then, Ethan grabbed the divorce agreement and tore it into pieces before storming out. He was tall, with long legs, and he walked fast. I didn't even try to catch up. I didn't want to. I pulled out my phone and sent him a message. "I'll be waiting at home. If you don't come back within 2 hours, I'll have my lawyer file for divorce. You'll bear the consequences of whatever happens from there." If the scandal of his affair with Lily came to light, I'd be seen as the victim. My reputation would be clean. But I'm a major shareholder of Starcrest Entertainment. Ethan is the CEO, and Lily is a contracted artist. If this affair turns into a public scandal, both of them will be dragged down, and I'll suffer massive financial losses. That's one of the main reasons I've tolerated them for so many years. I checked the time and drove home. An hour later, Ethan finally came back. He sat on the couch, stone-faced and silent. "This is a reprinted copy of the divorce agreement," I said, handing it to him. Ethan took it, his expression even darker than before. His grip was so tight that the paper crumpled in his hands. My voice went cold to match his mood. "Ethan, my patience is limited. If you dare tear it up again, we'll settle this in court." He paused, then tossed the divorce agreement onto the table and stared at me. "I never wanted a divorce," he said. I let out a bitter laugh. "Well, I've been dreaming of one. I'm not exaggerating. I literally dream about divorcing you. It's practically become an obsession." Ethan swallowed hard, his expression unreadable as he struggled to keep himself together. I've always been the quiet, obedient one around him, and now he couldn't handle the change in me. He tapped his fingers on the coffee table. "Starcrest is about to go public. If news of our divorce leaks now, it'll hurt the company. If you stay married, I'll give you 5% of the shares." I yawned lazily. "It'll be at least 2 or 3 years before the IPO happens. I'm not waiting that long. That 5% was never meant for me." "You really can't wait to divorce me, can you?" he asked, sounding like he'd just been slapped. His eyes held a mix of sorrow and frustration. "Emily," he said, "we've known each other for 10 years. We've been married for 7. Are you telling me you never had feelings for me? All that affection you showed before, was it fake?" Just hearing him say that made my stomach turn. "Think about the past 10 years, Ethan," I replied. "If you were me, could you honestly fall in love with someone like yourself?" His face flushed with a mix of shame and anger. "I'll have my lawyer review the divorce agreement again," he muttered, then stormed out. I figured if he had even a shred of dignity left, he'd just sign the papers like I asked. We met when we were 18. I was a transfer student, and he was the top student in school. His relationship with Lily, the campus beauty, was wild and passionate. His grades tanked, and he had no hope of getting into college. Coming from a poor family, he planned to rely on his looks to become an internet celebrity. But he was afraid of getting scammed, so he asked me to go with him. Ethan lost his father when he was very young. His mother remarried a wealthy man and left him with his grandmother. After she passed away, he lived alone. Growing up in that kind of environment, Ethan was starved for love. He tried desperately to cling to anyone he cared about. Add to that his youth and impulsiveness, he dropped out of school on a whim to become Lilyman's assistant, but she ditched him after she got involved with a top-tier sponsor. When he tried to get back together, she rejected him again and again, mocking him in the process. Eventually, he returned to school, but his heart was no longer in it. His grades tanked, and his temper got worse. At his mother's request, I brought him meals every day, made sure he ate properly, and even tutored him. He mocked me more than once, throwing my food thermos into the trash. Our classmates laughed at me for being a pathetic pushover. Still, I kept chasing after him. Junior year, Lily transitioned from internet celebrity to actress. Her first web drama became a hit, and someone dug up her past relationship with Ethan. His fans ridiculed him, saying a poor nobody like him could never be good enough for her. That crushed him. He became depressed again. Eventually, he decided to break into the entertainment industry. I was the only person he brought with him. To help boost his popularity, I did everything I could to generate attention, even if it meant getting cursed out by netizens. I couldn't land a single role, got drunk at dinner parties until I bled from my stomach lining, and somehow managed to carve out a place for myself through sheer luck and persistence. After that, Ethan confessed and proposed. His mom was worried a rejection would send him back into depression, so she begged me to say yes. I didn't have feelings for anyone else, so I agreed. But once Starcrest Entertainment took off, Lily came crawling back to Ethan, and he actually got involved with her again. From beginning to end, he never respected me as his wife. A man like that, no matter how handsome or rich he is, I could never fall in love with him. And even if I had the slightest spark of affection, he'd crush it himself every single time. That divorce agreement was completely fair. I really thought Ethan would come back and sign it quickly. He did contact me the next day, but instead of meeting to sign, he brought me to the hospital. His mother was lying in a hospital bed, skin and bones, looking terribly pale and frail. Seeing her like that broke my heart, and yet I felt powerless to do anything. I couldn't explain the sadness I felt. She chatted with me about the TV series I starred in and asked about how my sister was doing. Then finally she said, "Emily, I'm in the late stages of stomach cancer. I don't have much time left. What worries me most is still Ethan. With the way he is, I can only feel at ease if you stay by his side. Can you keep being there for him?" I've always been someone who repays kindness. Otherwise, I wouldn't have stuck around behind Ethan for 10 years. But just because I understand gratitude doesn't mean I'm stupid. A person only has so many decades to live. No matter how much someone has done for me, I've already paid back their kindness in full. And even if I believe in repaying kindness, there needs to be a limit. Don't you agree? My mother-in-law sighed heavily. After a long silence, she finally spoke with a complicated expression. "After all these years, maybe give him one more chance. I've already talked to him. Starcrest will be terminating its contract with Lily. She won't interfere with your lives anymore." I raised my hand to stop her. Of course, a mother would always take her son's side. There's no point in continuing this conversation. I'll take my leave. I've repaid every bit of what I owed. The rest of my life belongs to me. I turned to leave. "Ethan, sign the papers, or I'll take it to court. Your choice." Ethan followed me out and snatched the divorce agreement from my hands. He signed it, so forcefully it felt like the pen might tear through the paper. "Emily, I hope you won't regret this," Ethan said. "Not a chance. 1 month from now, see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau." I reached out to take the agreement, but Ethan gripped it tightly and wouldn't let go. He stared at me with a burning intensity, unwilling to accept reality. "Once the company goes public, the divided assets could multiply tenfold. And yet you insist on divorcing me now? That's not like you. Did you fall for someone else? Is it Jackson, the actor, or that singer Sean?" I yanked the agreement from his hand. "Who I like is none of your business. Honestly, if he and Lily hadn't been so disgusting, I wouldn't have walked away from that kind of money." I ignored the dark look on his face, hummed a tune, and left. After we signed the divorce papers, Ethan and Lily became even more high profile. A luxury car at her birthday party one day, multi-million-dollar jewelry at an auction the next. The internet was full of praise for Ethan's devotion. Everyone envied Lily. But whatever. The assets had already been split, and it had nothing to do with me anymore. Still, Ethan acted like he was out of his mind. He insisted I attend his business meetings, as if I were still his partner. I had no choice but to go. He got drunk and cornered me in the hallway, pestering me again and again. "Is it Jackson or Sean? When did you start cheating?" To make things worse, a paparazzo snapped a photo of us and posted it online. Lily's fans came after me like wolves, accusing me of taking advantage of Ethan when he was drunk. "Rotten fish like you have no shame. Ethan and Lily are having a baby and planning to get married. And here you are pulling this stunt? Rotten fish, get out of the entertainment industry. Rotten fish, get lost. She has to compete with Lily for everything. Has she even looked at herself in the mirror?" And those were the mild comments. Others were filled with vulgarities and slurs, cursing everything from my ancestors to my body parts. Every single word was like an insult directly to the face. I called Ethan. "There's still 1 month left before our divorce certificate is finalized. If you want to flaunt your love for Lily, do it after that. The more you two show off now, the more brutal her fans get with me. No one wants to be humiliated like this." Ethan's voice was ice cold. "We're getting divorced. It's not like you have the right to tell me who I can be with, but if you're having second thoughts, we can still go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and cancel the divorce application. On one condition, stay away from Jackson and Sean from now on. I let out a laugh, so furious it made me smile. Ethan, do you seriously think I'm just naturally this easygoing? You really believed I was that soft, just because I always played nice? I hung up and called my agent. Hold a press conference in 2 hours. I've been waiting for you to say that, he said, absolutely thrilled. He brought the whole team over to get me ready. He'd been through hell following me all these years, so I wired him $1 million as emotional damages. At the press conference, aside from the swarm of reporters, a crowd of Lily's fans showed up too. They shouted at me with venom in their voices. Homewrecker. Shameless. Ethan only loves Lily. Who the hell are you? Security tried to push them back, but I raised my hand to stop them. I smiled calmly and said, who am I? Just Ethan Liu's wife, legally speaking, anyway. Then I pulled out our marriage certificate and held it up in front of the cameras. The entire room froze. Even Lily's fans were speechless. I went on, thank you to all the reporters for coming today. I want you to be witnesses. I've been married to Ethan Liu for 7 years. He's been cheating on me with Lily Mann for 7 years. I'm done tolerating it. I've already signed the divorce agreement with Ethan and decided to terminate my contract with Starcrest Entertainment. Also, Lily Mann has hired internet trolls to slander and defame me. Many users have cyberbullied me with false accusations and personal attacks. My attorney has collected all the necessary evidence. We will sue them, every single one. I'm petty, I smiled, and I don't plan on letting a single person who bullied me get away with it. Once the press conference ended, the internet exploded. Oh my God, Emily and Ethan were legally married this whole time? Always knew something was off with Lily. That fake little mistress has the audacity to play the victim? Ethan Liu is trash too. Can't believe he treated his own wife like that. Scumbag. People were finally seeing Ethan for who he really was. All those loving videos and photos of him flaunting his relationship with Lily Mann, now they were being dragged out again and mocked for how fake they looked in hindsight. Several endorsement deals publicly announced they were cutting ties with Lily. A few drama productions that had already cast her announced they were replacing her. Even the Best Actress Award Committee released a statement saying her nomination was void. I heard some crazed fans even left funeral wreaths and dead rats for Lily outside her building. Back then, Ethan used online mobs to tear me apart. Now he was finally tasting a bit of that bitterness himself. Lily called me. Hysterical. You can't just go out there and say whatever you want. My commercial value is crashing. Ethan's name is garbage now. The company? Forget going public. It can't even maintain its current valuation. You're a shareholder too. You'll take a hit too. Are you out of your mind? I only told the truth. If you can't handle it, maybe ask Ethan to pull your name off the trending searches, I said calmly. That is, if he has time to worry about you, Lily. Personally, I doubt it. I'm not deaf. Keep your voice down. Don't get so worked up. If you end up having a miscarriage, that's not on me. I hung up on her. Not long after, Ethan showed up at my house with a dark face. He stared at me, stone cold. You hurt them, but you hurt yourself too. Are you really this stupid now that you've fallen for Jackson or Sean? You just cost us nearly $1 billion. Did a dog eat your brain? I tilted my head, casually. Looks like your intel's outdated, Mr. Liu. I already sold my shares. I didn't lose a cent. You're the one left holding the bag. 3 days ago, while he was busy showing off his fake fairy tale with Lily, I had my sister Sophie quietly sell my shares to Liu Dong, the second largest shareholder. Sophie and I have different last names. One took our moms, the other our dads, so no one would ever link us. Since I went the black and red publicity route, I'd always worried about hurting the company's image, so my shares were registered under Sophie's name. No one knew about this arrangement except Ethan and Lily. As for Leo, he always sided with Lily, constantly mocking me, throwing shade whenever he could. Sticking him with this was easy. I didn't feel the slightest bit guilty. Ethan's face was frozen in disbelief. You set me up. Oh, so you get to play me, but I'm not allowed to fight back? Don't act like some poor victim. It's pathetic. I'd given him and Lily more chances than they ever deserved. They were the ones who pushed too far. I'd already repaid my debts. I wasn't wasting another breath arguing with a man who clearly lost his mind. I kicked him out of the house. When I signed the divorce agreement, I asked for this property, but Ethan kept showing up, which was beyond annoying. So I moved. Some close friends came to visit after I settled into my new place. "You divorced Ethan and didn't tell us? Unbelievable," one of them teased. "Let that mistress dance on your head for 7 years? You really are the Ninja Turtle of tolerance." "Let's not bring up the depressing stuff. Congrats, Emily, you're finally free." They toasted and laughed, celebrating with me. But I just had an abortion and had to eat light. Meanwhile, they were devouring greasy food right in front of me. My mouth watered non-stop. Honestly, it felt like I'd invited a bunch of enemies to celebrate with me. Jackson, the A-list actor, always had this public persona of being cool, aloof, and super intelligent. His fans imagined he was just like the mastermind villains he played, cunning and strategic. In reality, he was playful, a bit silly, and incredibly easy to mess with. We loved teasing him. Sean, who's naturally chaotic and mischievous, knew Jackson couldn't handle alcohol but still encouraged him to drink. Jackson only had 1 glass before he completely lost it, collapsed on the floor, clinging to my leg and slurring nonsense. "Don't move, fishy, you're making me dizzy." "You said you'd play games with me. I played 10 whole seasons and still didn't reach master rank. I don't even know how to hide in the grass with Dodgy. They flame me and I can't clap back." The more Jackson talked, the more pitiful he sounded. By the end, his eyes were shimmering with tears. Sean and the others were laughing so hard they couldn't breathe. I didn't have the energy to laugh. I had to grab onto Jackson's pants, otherwise he was going to drag them right off. His agent looked like he was about to cry, calling in 5 assistants to keep an eye on him. I couldn't relax. With the way Jackson was behaving, I was terrified he'd completely destroy the image we built for him. If I'd known he was actually like this, I would have never given him the cold and aloof genius persona to begin with. "Right?" I said, sighing. "It's not my fault he's this clueless. His deadpan face is way too misleading." Everyone agreed. He really did look like an iceberg prince on the outside, but inside? Total goofball. Eventually, they all left one by one. Everyone was busy. Getting them to visit even for a short while had been a miracle. Before leaving, Sean leaned in and whispered, "Sweetheart, I've had your back since the day you debuted. When you switch agencies, make ours your first choice, okay? My brother said if you come on board, we'll bump up your revenue split by a full %." His brother was the CEO of their company. Sean was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, a textbook rich kid. "All right," I said, humoring him. "I'll think about it." Once I saw them off, I collapsed on the sofa and turned on the TV. I hadn't felt this relaxed in years. After spending so long helping Ethan chase his dreams, I'd forgotten what it felt like to just be. More than 2 weeks passed. Starcrest Entertainment stayed stuck in trending scandals. At this rate, the IPO wasn't happening anytime soon. One of my professors told me it was a shame. If we had gone public, I would have made much more. 2 days before the end of the divorce cooling-off period, Ethan asked to meet. He looked haggard, exhausted, pale, unshaven, thinner than before. Honestly, he looked even worse than when Lily dumped him. "Feeling better after some rest?" he asked, referring to my recovery. I picked up my tea, took a sip, and replied coldly, "You saw me the day I had the abortion and several days after that, and not once did you ask about my condition. Asking now feels a little fake, doesn't it?" "I was really looking forward to that baby," he said. "And you didn't even talk to me before you made that decision. I can't help but blame you." "You don't even need kids," I said, "so don't pretend like this one mattered that much." In our relationship, Ethan had always been the one with the upper hand, controlling, proud, emotionally distant. Now, the roles were reversed. He furrowed his brows, clearly wanting to lash out but forced himself to hold back. Then, awkwardly, he said, "The baby Lily is carrying, it's not mine. I never slept with her." I admired my fresh manicure, replying without looking up, "Yeah, I know. After the way she humiliated you before, there's no way you'd truly forgive her. But you enjoyed watching her grovel. That's why you signed her in the first place. Of course, you dangled promises in front of her, used her to get access to industry elites. You planned to burn her after she outlived her usefulness. That was your revenge. As for letting her use you for fake dating PR and bully me, you did that because of Jackson and Sean. You thought I cheated on you, so you let Lily return the insult on your behalf. And don't act like the company needed me to survive. You've wanted me out for a long time. Those rumors gave you an excuse to push me into leaving the industry, so I wouldn't get close to any other man. That's what really makes you feel safe, isn't it, Ethan? I've known him long enough to know exactly how his mind works. He got where he was because Lily slept her way to the top and dragged him with her. So when Jackson and Sean gave me opportunities, he automatically assumed I sold myself too. What he didn't know was, besides those two, plenty of actresses and female execs also gave me resources. They saw my value, not just my body. As I spoke, Ethan's expression twisted again and again, shifting between shame, confusion, and frustration. Finally, he said stiffly, "If you already knew the truth, then there's no need for a divorce. I never cheated on you, and I never wanted to leave you." I rolled my eyes. "Do you seriously think cheating is the only reason a couple gets divorced?" He went quiet for a second, then said dryly, "From now on, I won't let anyone walk over you. But you also need to keep your distance from other men. No more intimate scenes in your acting jobs. If you have other conditions, we can discuss them." I didn't hesitate. No need. I'm already a rich, beautiful woman, and I have a brain. You can go live whatever happy life you want, I said. No more pretending to be married to someone you can't stand. Ethan replied, "I'll be picking up the divorce certificate the day after tomorrow. I hope you'll show up as promised. If not, letting it leak that Lily got those roles through sleeping around will be even worse for the company. Don't you think?" His face was ashen. I was very satisfied with that reaction, and I left at ease. 2 days later, I got the divorce certificate with no issues and officially terminated my contract with Starcrest Entertainment. Back when I signed, I had added a breach penalty of just $10,000. Ethan thought I'd never leave him, so he figured the clause was meaningless. Too bad for him, there was no taking it back now. I sued Lily, the troll farms, and the netizens who defamed me. I won a settlement of $3 million. I donated all of it to charity. After that, public opinion swung in my favor. After giving it some thought, I joined Jackson's studio. Sean, furious, shouted at him, "Jackson, just to reel in Fishy, you only charged her 20% of the studio's operating costs, and you even got your uncle to manage her finances? You manipulative bastard. Who said you were slow? You're slick as hell." Even ranting to Jackson's face didn't make him feel better. Sean complained everywhere he went, even on variety shows. When we appeared as guests on one, the director, always one to stir the pot, asked on camera, "So, Jackson, what do you think of Sean going around telling everyone you're manipulative?" Jackson, with that trademark cold indifference, looked straight at the camera and said, "He's just mad he couldn't steal her away. I feel bad for him, so I let him vent, better than him losing his mind." Sean nearly broke ties with him on the spot. I had to bribe him with 2 super sweet bubble teas and promised to get him Jackson's sister's contact info just to calm him down. That's right, Sean, who plays the wild playboy to the public, is actually the king of pure romance. He's been secretly crushing on Jackson's younger sister for almost 3 years and still hasn't dared ask for her number. Every time he sees her, he blushes so hard he can't speak. And Jackson? It's unclear whether he's just clueless or evil, but he's never once let Sean be alone with her. After getting enough rest, I returned to the Sailing Beyond production team. The year later, I finally won the Best Actress trophy. Now that the homewrecker rumors were gone and Jackson's studio was working overtime for me, I landed 3 top-tier luxury brand endorsements. A Hollywood sci-fi franchise even reached out to invite me to audition for the lead. My career was soaring. In comparison, things weren't going so well for Ethan and Lily. In just 1 year, Lily had faded into obscurity, downgraded to supporting roles in web dramas. With me gone, Starcrest lost its cash cow. Lily's reputation collapsed, dragging the company's stock down with it. Ethan had once dreamed of going public. Now he was barely keeping the company afloat. In desperation, he tried pulling strings and pushing boundaries to grab more resources, but it only led to signing more minor talents without boosting profits. Industry insiders began to mock him. Starcrest's reputation was in ruins. The night I brought home my Best Actress award, I unexpectedly ran into Ethan. Or maybe he'd been waiting to ambush me. He reeked of alcohol and looked utterly defeated. "Emily," he slurred, "I've thought about it a lot this year. I love you, I really do. I just didn't know how to love you the right way. I didn't grow up with love, so I didn't know how to give it. I'm sorry. I truly regret everything." This man, once so proud and untouchable, now bowed his head in front of me. His eyes were full of hope and desperation. "We spent 10 years together," he said softly. "Can't you give me one more chance?" I handed him a tissue with pity in my eyes. "Go home, it's cold." Then I turned, chatted with my assistant, and closed the door behind me, leaving him outside. There's no excuse for hurting others. Not trauma, not regret. He didn't truly regret it, he just failed. If he had succeeded, if Starcrest had gone public, he would have laughed at me for being short-sighted and small-minded. I would have become nothing more than a footnote in his life story. Just like Lily. Good thing I never placed my hopes on anyone else. I am my own strength.